There's something that I learned, which I think is very good in terms of how to create different kinds of people and making them responsible to be leaders in any situation they find themselves in. That's what I was going to say. And one of the questions that was asked was, how does peer-to-peer leadership and teamwork shape workplace culture? A workplace culture, a strong workplace culture is not only built by managers, it's built by everybody, down to the security guard outside. It's something that through daily interactions, support, being there for one another, leadership is demonstrated in different areas. It's like, okay, you're guarding this place. How do you guard it with all of you and with excellence? And then that goes all the way up, or we start from the up and that comes all the way down. So from the way you dress, from the way you speak, we all influence each other to want to be the best versions of ourselves. I promise you, if we had great leaders in organizations that understood the importance or even understands the importance of being a great leader and leading by example, you'll find so many people succeed in the workplace because everybody wants to do well. Everybody is going to be looking forward to wanting to do well just because you have a fantastic, phenomenal visionary who understands the importance of everybody to feel seen, heard, and valued, where they feel like they can boldly speak, they can raise up their hand, no matter what position they are, and the MD, CEO, or the board of directors can listen to that person and say, yes, you've got the floor now, we're ready to hear what you've got to say. Imagine how that place is going to be, where everybody felt comfortable, or everybody feels comfortable with sharing their ideas. They understand that it might not be taken, but they know that they have the permission and the right. They're not going to be shouted at. They're not going to be ridiculed. They're not going to be insulted. They're not going to be booed or laughed at. Because when we were children, the people that I've spoken to as a counselor and a therapist that have issues with talking publicly, as children, they tried to do it at some point in their lives and they were booed, and they were bullied, and they were shut down. So some of them said, as children, I will never do this kind of thing again, where somebody will make me feel small. And so we carry that into adulthood, thinking, oh, if I say something and somebody laughs at me, what happens? You go back to that memory of how you were booed in school by your classmates, or booed at home by your siblings, or booed at home by your house girl or house boy, your parents, and you just say to yourself, shut down. Next time they ask you, what do you think? You say, you don't think anything. And that has happened to me a couple of times. Because you remember, it becomes a trigger for you. It's a huge trigger. So if you then find a workplace where your boss now is insecure and they are weak, come on. You just sit down. Do you have anything to say? No, sir, whatever you, in fact, so one day I remember I said to somebody, I said, that idea you just shared, fantastic. I've not heard anything better than that. And it was a lie, because what he said was complete bollocks. But because he liked to hear the sound of his voice and he didn't want anybody to counter anything that he said, it had to be his decisions all the time, how he wanted it. And he got into so much trouble by doing that. All of us just thought, you know what, do you, sir? Whatever you say, just go ahead. If he says we're going to do, you're right. Let's go and do it. And if he says, Adeola, what do you think? Chairman, I'm not thinking. Just let's do it the way you want. And it's happened with women as well, because they're so insecure to step back. They're micromanagers. They're unable to allow people fly, make mistakes, but fly. And hopefully you don't make mistakes that are so bad. I mean, I remember telling one of my bosses then that she was saying, oh, you know, I have to be at all these sets at the same time. I said, your prayer shouldn't be that. Your prayer should be that you have people who catch your vision enough that they can run with it and they can do exactly what you would have done if you were there without you being there. And she looked at me and she said, Iwolomo, which means it's you that knows. Because she is a master micromanager. And why are you a micromanager? You're afraid. You don't trust people. And you don't trust people. Why? Because you don't trust yourself. It has to come from somewhere, and it always comes from you, because somebody betrayed you or somebody messed up your last job. You say, I'm not going to choose another person. That means that you lack trust in the capacity of picking a good person next time. And that's why you're afraid. It's not because of the other person. It's because of you. You don't think that your antenna will be sharp enough to pick the right person for you. And so you start to make all kinds of mistakes. But that's not what you want as a leader. You want people who can open their mouths and speak to you Their attitude and their behaviors are positive. Anybody can walk up to you and they know that you'll be receptive. Even if you're busy, you can say, can you come back? But they have a listening ear in you. And this is something that now happens. I remember I was hired at a place, and in that place, there was a lot of toxicity. They used to report themselves. They would go and meet the boss and go and tell him all kinds of things about the next person, and he would enjoy it. He would call. And then I saw that he liked and he danced in such filth. I think if nothing at all, I've told people how you cannot get me to do such nonsense. It's too beneath me. Too beneath me. And it's too energy sapping. I refuse to give my energy to such nonsense. So what did I do? I created a system whereby when people come to meet me, to complain to me about someone else, I don't take it. I'll tell them, I'm sorry, go and call the person, let's sit down and have the conversation. When they noticed that I wasn't listening to gossip, some people ran away and stopped telling me things, which I was very excited for because I didn't want that to happen anymore. And some people would say, okay, I know you, tell me the truth. Tell me what do you think? This is what happened. And then we get into a conversation, get into dialogue. I call the two parties. We talk about it. I say, you see how you misunderstood this? You see how you misunderstood? And then we have a nice conversation and everybody goes, oh, my first question is, how did you contribute to this thing happening? Because both parties are always participatory. Both parties always. So you want to be that kind of person that starts to lead. Then you imbibe that leadership, that good leadership into your staff. And they can imbibe it into the next step and into the next level. Before you know it, it trickles down to the end and everybody feels comfortable, everybody feels safe and secure. You want to give people the permission to speak up and speak out. You want to give people permission to take some risks. You want to give them permission to do some certain things, take action in certain things. Of course, you want to limit the damage, but you have to give them permission to take, because that's how you build people. Give them permission to handle certain situations, because you cannot be everywhere at the same time. In fact, if you're a micromanager, it's because there's a void in you that needs to be covered. And your needing to be everywhere makes you feel relevant and important. And that's not a strength, that's a weakness. And you need to go and seek therapy and find out what you need this path of life for and what it is costing you. Because micromanagers are not actually happy people. They're not. I'm not sorry to say it, but they're not happy people. The emptier you are, then you've got to do something about it. You've got to heal yourself. Remember, accountability is very important. You've got to own up and tell people, I messed up. In this one, I took a wrong curve. I apologize for not listening to your suggestion, or I apologize for not sharing it with you. I will do better next time. Imagine you tell your staff that, or your colleagues, they come to meet you and they complain and you say, I apologize for making you feel small. I apologize for talking about you in a particular way. This one, I messed up big time and I'm sorry about it. And I promise you, I will avoid certain kinds of conversations next time because I've learned that it hurt you. And if it hurt you, it could hurt anybody else. How do you think that staff or colleague of yours will feel? Would the respect go lower or would the respect go higher? You can be the judge of that. So how do you feel? You feel good. In fact, they will come to you next time. They will not feel afraid, but you just come, hey, you, blah, 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 blah. Sometimes I'm just like, why? There's no need for it. Bring yourself down too and listen, because you are never always right and you never know everything. Period. You're never always right and you never know everything. And if you can tell yourself that you too have ignorance in certain things, and ignorance is not an insult. Ignorance means you don't have enough information about something. That's all. And you will never always have enough information about everything. So you will still have some ignorance in certain places. So let people open up. Let them teach you. You can say, this thing, please come and teach me how to do it all. Some of them, you even pay them to teach you, to show them that you value their time. Not because they work under you so you take advantage. No. Value their time, give them something in return, and let it become a value added, on both sides. When people are having challenges, you navigate them properly. When you also want to reprimand people, you do that sandwich style where you say good things about the person first. Then you tell them the things they need to up their game in, and then you end it with a good thing. Who in the world wants to feel attacked? Nobody. Once you attack, what's the next thing that happens? Defense. We see it in football now. Once the attackers are coming, what's happening? The defenders show up because that's their job. And that's what happens also in us. When someone says, you did this, you always make me angry. You always make me sad. First of all, do they always? Most times, it's never always. But secondly, it's an attack. And who wants to be attacked? Who wants to feel like I'm because of your pain? Nobody. So the next thing that we're going into is, I'm defending myself. No, I didn't do that, but you too. And then you now start to see that blame game. But you too, but you too, but you too, but you too. Where do we end? We don't resolve the challenge. We leave there feeling even worse off, and we hate each other now. So a leader understands that they listen and they can be accountable. A leader can also say, look, I am weak. I need help. A leader should be able, that should come out of their mouth so effortlessly. I mean, maybe not to everybody, but you should have certain people that you can call and say, I am struggling. Help me, cover up for me. I do it in my workplace. I call them, please, you guys cover up for me. I have to go somewhere today. My colleagues will, because I cover up for them too. So you've got to be vulnerable. You've got to be accountable. You've got to take responsibility. Own up to your shit. Excuse my French. Own up to your messes. Own up to your losses. And then celebrate your wins. And teach others also that it's okay to mess up. Teach them that it's okay to fail at things, because the more you can fail, the more chances that you can win. Let them see you do that to yourself first. Okay? Be that leader that starts it and then imbibes it into other people, and it becomes a culture in the office. That in this place, we love ourselves. That's what I tell people. In this office, we love ourselves. In this office, we cover ourselves. In this office, we're there for each other. In this office, somebody is doing something abroad, we all fly there for that person to support that person. We support one another in this office. Forget what the overall boss is doing. But amongst us, and as long as it's up to us, we're there for each other. Try that in your organization and see whether your organization will not end up in the long run a much safe, secure place, and a place where your staff will bring their best to the organization because they can trust you, and your bottom line at the end of the day will succeed. My name is Adeola Kingsley James. Love and light.